All right, and I would say let's start with the EVerest Technical Steering Committee. So welcome everyone. I'm gonna fill in for Marco this week and going to host you through the slides of this month's EVerest Technical Steering Committee. Start with some highlights of the month. There's going to be a tech village at the ICNC conference, I think in September, and there's a call for speakers and charging tech experts out. So if you want to speak there or have any thing that you want to talk about, please get in touch with us. Then in the last stable release already, we had this in that you don't need to have the EVCLI tool installed anymore during the setup of EVerest. And I think Shankari will tell us more about the departure time smart charging demo. It's also here. Then, I think everybody in the room knows the antitrust policy by now, but I will just briefly show it. Please adhere to this antitrust policy if you say something later in the open mic section of the call. So,
can everybody see Kai's screen? Because I can't.
I can see the screen.
Okay, then just go ahead. There's no
okay.
my Zoom.
All right, then. I'm just gonna call out when it's your time, so you can open the slides on your end, maybe. That helps you. So let's go into the what's new section. I think last time we already showed this slide of the known EVerest-based chargers, but just for a repeat here, there's the Mahle Charge Big Charger, as well as the CP21 and 22 from Quello, and chargers from Podpoint, Intelligent Volt Post, the retrofit kits from Quello, and Joule chargers for testing. If you know of any other EVerest-based chargers that are public already, please, and that we don't know about, please let us know. We will update this list then a little bit. I already mentioned it in the intro slide. There's this tech village at the ICNC 24 conference presented by Pionics and Hubject. And if you think of yourself as a expert in topics related to EV charging, and you do want to become a speaker or host one of our tabletop sessions, we're looking for basically technical people who want to talk about topics like OCPP, iSwift 11.8, plug and charge, things like that. And if that's something that's interesting for you, please email your proposals at techvillage@interchargenetworkconference.com, and you have time until August 2nd, 2024. So still a week from now. So that should be plenty of time to submit some proposals here. Now for the event recap. The CharIN North America member meeting. I think, Shankari, you will probably want to say a few words about that.
Yeah, so we received a request from CharIN. So as you know, we did a demo at CharIN, and I guess people were interested. So there was a request for a presentation at the CharIN North America member meeting. Alex Thornton was the primary speaker. He talked about open source, LF energy, the benefits of working with an open source project under a permissive license and so on. I also joined to do a live demo, another one, this time with support for departure charging departure time charging, which is something that the Joint Office is interested in. And so we wanted to play around with it, and I got it done in time. So I demoed that. I have a little bit more technical detail on that later in the presentation, but there was interest. The main question was, is anyone using this in the real world? And I was like, yes, here's a there's a list of people. But of course, the more people we get, the better that will be.
All right, great. Thank you very much for that update. All right, now we're going to go through the working group updates, starting with the cloud communication. I think, Pete, you probably want to say something about that.
Yes, we've split this up into 0.1 and 1.6. A lot of stuff has happened in the past month, but the main points for 2.0.1 are the device model initialization at runtime that was required before that change to initialize your device model database using a Python script. And we now do it when EVerest is starting. I think even yesterday, the support for the self-charging profile request was merged, and the JOET and AFS team was working on that. So that's a big milestone. And we have added support for variable monitoring this month, and we'll continue to extend it in the upcoming month to allow the configuration of custom monitors when you configure your charger. For 1.6, rather small improvements, we have backported the functionality of QoL messages from OSPP 2.0.1 to OSPP 1.6, so that all messages that are sent can be persisted if you enable this this configuration key. And we have some general improved transaction handling in 1.6 as well.
Thank you for that update. Then the car communication working group. I'm probably quickly gonna go through this. The EV manager has already been added, I think, to the last release, which is I don't know. Recently, it has been added, which is basically a C++ implementation of the JavaScript EV manager we had before. There was an adaptation to the cable check code for the new IEC -23 version that got released end of last year. Then there was a bug fix that fixes the stop and unplug. It wasn't working after an ISO pause and resume in the software in the loop simulation. There is an open pull request for adding OpenSSL support in the libiso. I think that's also probably been merged already. And there has been some discussion on how to handle DIN 7121 and ISO 15118-2 and -20 modules in EVerest, with the discussion broadly going towards having a multiplexing module that basically forwards the messages to from the communication side to the module that is then used on to how to handle this communication. Then a short update from the EVerest Framework and Tools working group. I've presented a bit of a concept on how to properly terminate EVerest modules at the beginning of July, which will be in a pull request, pretty sure, pretty soon. Then I mentioned this in the beginning. You don't need to have EVCLI installed anymore on your machine. It'll just happen automatically during your CMake step. And there's been some ongoing discussion and ongoing work on the error handling implementation. CI/CD and testing working group. The big update here is that there's a refactoring of Docker images in EVerest ongoing at the moment. So not going to go too much into detail here, but we're basically trying to clean up our CI images a little bit and streamline things here. What I don't see on the slide is another CI/CD thing. Probably we for the CMake build, we also enabled compiler warnings today on EVerest core. So you should see more warnings there and can fix them, hopefully. Yeah, then we go to the departure time smart charging demo details that Shankari teased earlier.
I also will not go into a lot of detail, but for CharIN, the original demo, what we were doing was grid control, right? So something sends a charging profile to the CSMS. The CSMS sends the charging profile to EVerest, and then EVerest sends it as part of the charge parameter discovery request response pair to the EV simulator. So you can basically limit the current that is drawn depending on grid conditions, for example. So this was already working. The code is not in master, but it's getting into master little by little. What the Joint Office was interested in looking at was also the other way, which is car control. And the sort of classic car control is departure time. So you can send a message which says, I'm going to leave at a certain time and I want this much energy before then. And then the charge station can send back a charging SA schedule such that you'll get that energy at the time that you have to leave, but it can be lower power before that. So I hacked this together in 2 calendar days. So it's not yet been submitted as a PR. There's some, additional things we're doing to make the demo a little bit better in terms of controlling this through the UI and so on. So we'll send it out once it's fully done. So I demoed this at the CharIN NA member meeting, and I also highlighted that it took me only 2 days to add this. Although I don't have a lot of experience with the code base, not in the weeds. I didn't even have the development environment set up. I actually edited code in VI and running containers. I got it to work in 2 days. And that is only possible because EVerest is well architected and modular. It's actually not that hard to go in and find the place where you need to make the change that you want for your functionality. Add that and then submit it back to the community so everybody can use it.
It's nice to hear. So thank you for that update. Then just a small update on the general discussions and Q&A working group. Basically just a request that if you have topics that we should put on the agenda, please write them down somewhere so we can pick them up earlier. So Zulip chat, mailing list, etc. And that we store the meeting notes in the EVerest wiki. Then just a short little update on the vulnerability management team. In general, there have been no security vulnerabilities reported in the last month to us. The setup for this management team is work in progress. The team members or the specific team members and the size of that team, which we think should be probably as small as possible, is yet to be defined. Current proposal that we, I think, discussed last time from in this TSC is that there will be one person from Pionics, one person from Quello, and one person from the JOET, AFS, or Sandia Labs joining this. Pretty sure we will discuss this a little bit further offline and then come back with an update on this in one of the next TSCs. All right, then monthly release notes. Just a little recap on the EVerest release cycle. Last month we had a stable release, and now we're back to regular monthly source code releases. The next stable will then be targeted for end of September. Here's a list of not all the PRs, but a selection of the PRs that were merged in this release. I'm just gonna pick out a few of them that that were interesting on this slide. So and yeah, as always, the release will be released in the coming days, probably sometime next week. So what's next? Let's have a look together at the different roadmaps. As always, things in this roadmap or priorities can shift based on the community priorities. In the short term, our plan is to continue work on the OCPP 201 implementation with, at the moment, a focus on the smart charging functional block. This will be followed or in parallel worked on a little bit with the OCPP 2.1 implementation of the bidirectional power transfer messages. I think the release for the standard is targeted for sometime at the end of this year, and there have been some preliminary versions out already that we were able to have a look at. Updates on ISO 15118-20. I teased it earlier with this ISO, this maxing protocol, maxing module that will allow us to have automatic protocol switches between the different ISO and the DIN versions. And many more things that will happen in the next couple of months. So let's have a short look on the OCPP timeline. As I mentioned, right now we're in Q3 2024. Work on smart charging and the advanced monitoring is going on, with the advanced monitoring mostly being merged by now, I think. And next quarter, in some parts already this quarter, we are already working on things like tariff and cost, California pricing extensions, and things like that. And this is the current ISO 15118-20 timeline, which I pretty much I think mentioned everything on the slide before. Then let's have a look at some upcoming events. The next event is going to be the ICNC in the beginning of September, shortly followed by the LF Energy Summit in Brussels. And me and a colleague of mine will have a talk at the Open Source Summit Europe in Vienna in the middle of September. I think we're still looking if somebody is going to the CharIN event in Mexico at the middle of September. If you know of someone who wants to go there and talk about EVerest, or just in general wants to observe, please let us know. The end of September, there will be the IAA Transportation in Hanover in Germany, followed by the CharIN Festival Europe in Versailles at the beginning of October. I think we're missing the OCPP Plugfest in September on the slide, which will be in Stuttgart, I think, and we'll join there as well. But there's also the OCA's 10th anniversary celebration in the Netherlands in the middle of October. Electronica in Munich, and maybe the JOET is going to the CharIN US in November in San Bernardino. Yeah, but please let us know if there's other events where you want to represent EVerest or that you think are interested that we should go to, and yeah, let us know. So the next technical steering committee meeting will be at the 22nd of August. And in the meantime, there will be certain different technical working group calls. Please have a look at the calendar if you're interested in that. So thanks a lot for joining, and this will conclude the recorded part.